Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how a major breakout on Bitcoin may be just around the corner. We're very excited about today's stream because Bitcoin has managed to hold up here well above $43,000, and that leads us to one very simple conclusion. There may be another leg of this rally coming. And if you watched our video, our Climate of Crypto episode yesterday, then you will know three of the major reasons why I believe that a rally to $50,000 or potentially all the way back to all-time high before the end of the first quarter of next year is in the cards. And in today's episode, we are going to be diving even deeper into all of those reasons. So if you're looking forward to today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because we've got a lot of content coming up that I think you guys are going to like. Got over 100 people in chat already. Thank you for watching. Quinn Daughtery is in chat. Alex Nibo, Sean O'Brien, Joe Bollier, Victor Sleeps. Quinn Daughtery said, Jeb, I've got a question about Lux Algo. What is your sensitivity setting used for buy signals? We'll look at that in just a second. Good question. Market Bull said, 35th watching. Hello to you. RJ is in chat. Coin Operator. Stacy Rumsey is in chat, said Cardano finally pumped. Mattis S in chat said hello. Bob Riley said loving the ADA and Solana pump today. Christina Orozco said happy Friday. Carter Elizinga said good morning. Satchet321 said bring on the weekend. Among the crowd, 1977 said good morning, Jeb, checking in from Pennsylvania. Hello. Queen said financial sovereignty or nothing. Satchet's in chat. Well done for pronouncing my name correctly. I try. I'm not very good at pronunciation, but I try. Mr. Check 1984 said, yup, it's going up. Good deal. Well, we do certainly have quite a lot to talk about today, and it's really funny that Solana and Cardano are on massive tears because I bought both of them yesterday, and then they're both massively rallying. Really excited about that. In fact, I'm going to pull up on another screen my Coinbase and see how that's doing, just so I can kind of tell you what the position was. But I ended up actually getting into Coinbase and starting all of the portfolio setup the way that I was telling you about. I'm very excited about that. Let's see. I'm already up over 15% on Cardano, and I bought it yesterday, I think. Is that what it was? Let me see. Performance. Yep. Already up 11.23%. Pretty excited about that. And it's staked too. Yep. Very happy about that. So, got some Cardano in there. In my assets, let's see. I also bought some Solana. Bought a good bit of Solana. That's up about 10% over just the last 24 hours. Very excited about that. Got that staking as well. If you guys have not already started your broad base of investment in the cryptocurrency market, I highly recommend it. So make sure to check all of that out. Derek Delboy Moore said, yo, Jeb, big hello from across the pond. Good to see you representing Ireland. Really appreciate that. All right. ADA finally doing work. Yes, ADA is doing very well. Very excited about that. Going to be dumping a lot more money into crypto, into those altcoins. Put just kind of a seed fund in there. Going to be investing every Friday. Decided to go ahead and do it yesterday instead of waiting for Friday because I had a feeling a rally would come. And sure enough, one did. As you can see on Cardano, we're up 20% in the last 24 hours. Solana up 13.59% in the last 24 hours. Some of these buys that you're getting down here are going to feel like, man, I wish I had gotten more back then. I just remember when Bitcoin and Ethereum were starting their last bull market, I bought into Bitcoin at, $4,000, $5,000. I bought into Ethereum at a couple $100, and I held on to some of those coins for a long time. And I think a lot of the altcoins are going to do the same thing. I think in this bull market, you're going to see the Bitcoin dominance go down dramatically, maybe even down to like 25 to 35%. And part of the reason for that is going to be because of all of the altcoins absolutely moonshotting. You're going to, when that happens, you are going to see some of your favorite altcoins going through 5x, 10x, 15, 20x returns. So yesterday I bought for myself, let's see, beginning my portfolio that I've been wanting to set up. Here, I bought some Cardano, some Chainlink, some Cosmos, Polkadot, Ethereum. I already have a bunch of Ethereum, but I bought some more. Solana, Avalanche. I even bought some Doge and some SHIB, believe it or not. And I bought some Uniswap and some XRP and some Lumens. And actually got a little bit of Graph. Over on Coinbase, you can make $1 for like learning about Graph. And then you can do that 4 times. So I made $4 learning about Graph. There are a lot of different ways you can make money in the cryptocurrency space. So kind of seeded that. Going to be investing in that every Friday from here on out. Probably to the tune of between $400 to $1,000 every week. I started with about $2,000, so we're going to see where that goes, and I will continue to share that portfolio with you. So far, that portfolio is up by about $150. I seeded it with about $1,800, $1,850, somewhere around there yesterday. It's already up about $100 to $150, so pretty excited about that. So make sure that you pay attention to the altcoin market because you're not going to want to miss those. Yes. A lot of people in chat. Let's go ahead and jump on over to CoinMarketCap and jump on over to TradingView and dive right on into it. Now, one of the things I want to talk about on Bitcoin right now is the fact that this ascending triangle pattern did not actually break bullish, but instead it did break bearish, and we tried to rally back up in here and continue the rally. It did not come to fruition. That being said, though, on the hourly chart, we do have some very positive technicals. You can see that there is an uptrend forming here on the hourly chart. And at the same time, we've also got an uptrend forming here on MACD and RSI. It took a little bit longer for these two formations to, well, form than what we had hoped for yesterday. But it does seem that we're seeing a strong bottoming out going on right now on ETH and also on RSI and on MACD and also on RSI. So we've got an uptrend forming on MACD here. We are pretty confidently above the 0 level on histogram. RSI is starting to reverse. And so this is starting to look like a proper corrective movement that has turned into a proper bounce. And we even see Lux Algo coming in with a buy signal right here. Boom. Buy signal, and trend catcher is green with the last hourly candlestick. That is a great sign. That is the first confirmed buy signal that we've seen since back here. That confirmed buy signal sent us on a rally of about $4,500. We have a buy signal that's pushing us up to 44.3 to 44.9. So very excited about that buy signal. Cannot wait to see what Bitcoin is going to do from that level. Now, a couple of things that are important to remember here. Bitcoin needed a corrective movement. We had gone absolutely parabolic following this uptrending parabola, this uptrending curve right here. And so Bitcoin needed a corrective movement. It needed to fall out of that uptrend. It could not just go parabolic forever because eventually you move sideways in time and you end up going right through that level. So the fact that we were able to trade through that level was a great thing because it actually gives Bitcoin the opportunity to go through some kind of corrective movement. And so I want to talk today a little bit about how and when and where and why Bitcoin may go back to all-time high, or at least in the short term to $50,000. Is that going to happen? I want to look at that through the lens of the short-term analysis, and then I want to look at that through the lens of the longer-term analysis, and then we'll talk about some of the fundamentals later on in the fundamental section of today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live. So, first things first, short-term analysis. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Could we be expecting a $50,000 Bitcoin around the corner? Shadrach Frost is in chat, said happy #FinSolve Friday, crypto family, #HODL. Love to see it. Make sure you guys drop a like and let's see some #FinSolves in chat. Let's build some financial sovereignty together. Awesome. Bullishness on hourly chart is starting to pick up. We've got the volume picking up. We've got the MACD picking up. We've got the RSI picking up. We've got 3 higher lows on price action and on RSI. MACD is bullish and is confirmed bullish. That is a very significant trend, one that shan't be ignored. You should not ignore that. Very, very big deal. Because all of those technical indicators, along with Lux Algo, give us the bullish strength that we need to try and retest some resistance. Remember, one of the major lenses that I look at the market through is through the lens of the strength of the bulls and the bears. And if you guys have not already, then you will be, if you guys have not already gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, then I will go ahead and tell you that we have a video over there in CT2A on the strength of the bulls and the bears. It's one of my favorite videos in the entire course, and it is right here, gauging the strength of the bulls and the bears. The way that I tend to look at the market is through the lens of who's stronger, the bulls or the bears, who's gaining in strength, the bulls or the bears, and where might the bulls or the bears go once they have the initiative. And right now, the bulls are very clearly gaining in strength. There was this kind of curving over capitulation going on Bitcoin. You could probably even draw a curve on it right about here. Just something like this. You can see this kind of curve right here that Bitcoin was under as far as resistance is concerned. All of your levels of support and resistance are not always going to be straight lines. Sometimes they are going to be a curve. And so we were seeing resistance like this. And when we finally broke bullish out of that, we at the same time saw all of our bullish technicals coming in. MACD came in, RSI came in. And so that's where we're sitting right now. We're sitting very bullish. The question then becomes, are there any other levels that we need to break to go back to 45? And from there, can we go even higher? Well, of course, $44,000 is a contender, 44K being a big even. If you guys are not familiar with the phrase big even, essentially that is just a big round hole, simple and attractive number that investors like to place trades around. It's a lot more likely that you're going to see somebody put a sell order at 43,995, right below 44, then they're going to put it at 43,726, 42, right? It's just a number that you're typically going to see a bump on the sell wall. When you get to a big even on the order books, you're typically going to see a large bump in the number of sell orders at the position around a big even. And so that's where the resistance comes from, is that large number of sell orders around that big even. And so we've been rejecting off of 44, which means that our first question here on the path back to 50K is whether or not Bitcoin has enough bullish strength and enough inertia to be able to smash through 44 to go back to 45. 45 is our next major level of resistance. And at the same time, if we bring out our Fibonacci retracement here, 44 also represents the 0.5% Fibonacci retracement, and we also have the golden pocket up here on Fibonacci retracement, just a little bit above us, right here, that we're going to want to contend with. So let's just keep these two levels in mind. The flat level right around 43.8 to 44, that is our 0.5 level, and it also is largely built by price action. But we also have our zone of resistance up here that you can see right around 44.2 that has to do with the Fibonacci golden pocket. Can we smash through these two levels? I think yes. I think we are more than likely going to. And part of that has to do with the volume. We're seeing a lot of volume. It's a lot of green volume. The bulls are showing a lot of strength right now. MACD, RSI, and again, we also have Lux Algo. This Lux Algo buy signal is confirmed, and it is giving us a take profit up here at its height to $45,000. That is very, very encouraging. Now, to the question that we had earlier, my signal sensitivity is set to 12. For any of you guys that are trying to follow my setup here on Lux Algo, it is set to 12. It's been a very long time since I've removed Lux Algo and put it back on here, obviously, other than to update it. So I believe that that is the default number. I don't think that I've changed that at all. You guys can tell me if I'm incorrect. I'm pretty confident that that's actually the default number. So I would encourage you guys to keep that in mind. Cool. So can Bitcoin go back to $50,000, $45,000? Yes, I think there is enough exuberance and enough confidence in the market right now that that could happen. We will obviously have to get some strength above 44, and we'll obviously have to see a little bit more bullishness, but I think it can happen. Down on the minute chart, you're probably wondering, well, there's that red candlestick right there. What does that mean? Well, it is currently painting a falling wedge, and falling wedges typically break bullish, so I'm not too worried about that. Down here on the minute chart, you can see that that falling wedge is actually acting a lot more like a bull pennant than a bearish pattern. It's not really building a double top. It's not really building a head and shoulders pattern or anything, but it is building a price target up to 44.2, which would break us through our current level. And even on the hourly chart, on the 1 minute chart, we're starting to see quite a lot of convergence down here on the MACD. RSI is bearish. It's below the 14 interval moving average, but it's only going to be down there for so long. We do have a confirmed sell signal, but we're almost at the take profit on that confirmed sell signal down on the minute chart. And with all of this rallying, it has brought up the reversal zone substantially, meaning that we've started an uptrend even as visible as it is on the minute chart. So the minute chart is, for the moment, bearish, but is starting to shift in the direction of bullishness. And so that is something that we are excited to see. Can Bitcoin flash crash here? Absolutely it can. We're still in a predominant downtrend. Remember, on the daily chart, or excuse me, on the hourly chart, you can see that we are still technically setting lower highs and lower lows. Can we crash from here? Absolutely. Are we going to? I'm not as confident. I think that there is a high likelihood that Bitcoin will be able to break bullish from here and be able to move on to the upside with all the bullishness in the tank. Now, one thing is a bit of a caveat there, and that would be the fact that the altcoins are rallying so much. Cardano is up 40% in the last 7 days. Solana up, goodness, Solana is up 20% in the last 7 days. These altcoins are absolutely blowing up, and that does signal that some of the money that was pouring into, some of the money that was pouring into Bitcoin is now flowing into the altcoins. And so if that is happening, then that could mean that Bitcoin would not have quite as much bullish strength as it did, because a lot of the focus could be going on over to the alts. If that happens, then Bitcoin could just range sideways here. But overall, in the picture of can Bitcoin go back to 45, I think you get a green light. I think there is a strong chance that Bitcoin is going to do that. Unfortunately, for the bears or for anybody that's been in a short trade, I don't see a major correction coming to Bitcoin anytime soon right now. Can it happen? Absolutely, it always can. And there's also this uptrend here that we should consider. But even if we did fall back to the baseline on that uptrend, that's only a fallback to $40,000. Do keep that in mind, because it is possible. That's this longer-term uptrend right here. If we do fall, we could very well fall back down to that uptrend, but then we flag out, and that actually pushes us higher. So it's not that big a deal in the long run. It's not something to really be concerned about. These are all signals that a bull market is coming, and that we should consider how we want to set up our investment for said bull market. All right, one of the last things I want to mention on the daily chart is if we do close up here, we're actually looking at a green candlestick, which is great. There's obviously some sideways consolidation going on here, and even if we don't rally straight up to 45 right now and break bullish, we will eventually. Bitcoin's going back to all-time high within the next 12 months. I'm almost certain of that. I'm about as confident in that as I can be. And from there, I think that Bitcoin is going to go well beyond all-time high, up to 100 to 150, maybe even 200 in this bull market. Some people calling 500, maybe. I don't know about that, but I could totally see it. So make sure that you guys have some money in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because you're about to see a parabolic rally. Now, let's talk a little bit about the medium term. Can Bitcoin go back to all-time high in quarter one? Well, there's a couple of factors to consider there. The first one is the BlackRock approved. And if the BlackRock ETF is actually approved, that will be right before the halving, which will send Bitcoin on a parabolic rally. That's what we saw happen during the last bull market. We saw Bitcoin go on an absolutely parabolic run because of a fundamental having to do with the CARES Act, the Paycheck Protection Program, the PIP loans, and also just all of the stimulus and quantitative easing, zero interest rates, just everything going on with massive liquidity pumps going into the United States economy. And so when Bitcoin went on this absolute tear, it had a lot to do with fundamentals. The technicals were predicting it, but we kind of threw some of our technical analysis out the window at that point and just started looking for levels. Like, we knew that the bulls were almost infinitely strong, so we just had to start figuring out, all right, what levels are they going to pause at where we can exit the trade for 5 minutes and get back in 5 minutes later? That's pretty much what that 90 to 120 days looked like. If the Bitcoin ETF gets approved, or if we have more hints that it's going to, we've already had some hints that it's going to, but if we have even more hints that it's going to, then Bitcoin will probably go on an absolute tear right up to well over $100,000. So if you're not dollar cost averaging into your cryptocurrency portfolio right now, you should be, because Bitcoin is probably going to at least triple from where it is right now. Many of the altcoins are going to go on an even bigger run. So from the ETF standpoint, with a 90% likelihood or more of it being approved, which again is what many people much closer to the matter than I am saying are saying, then we should consider that very heavily. Even out on the weekly chart as well, and I'm going to make a video on this probably next week. The weekly chart Lux Algo and the monthly chart Lux Algo are converging to be exceptionally and extraordinarily bullish. We don't have a buy signal on the monthly chart just yet, but when we do, that will be a huge sign that a bull market is coming. We've only seen 2 major confirmed buy signals in the history of Bitcoin, and both of them led into the bull market. And if we're seeing a Lux Algo buy signal coming in right now, that could mean that a huge amount of bullishness is still left in the tank. So from the perspective of the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, an all-time high run moving into first quarter of next year is absolutely possible. Guys, it's here. The bull market's here. Let me just say that again for the people in the back. The bull market is here, and you don't want to miss out on it. And that's why it is so important for us to be consistently and continually investing in our education and investing in wisdom. You know, I read Proverbs every day, and one of the things that Proverbs talks about quite a bit is seeking wisdom every single day. Those that seek me shall find me, is what it says. And so I want you to seek for wisdom. I want you to look for wisdom, whether that be in the book of Proverbs or from other people that can teach you different things. Financial wisdom is a very important part of becoming financially sovereign. In fact, I would say it's an indelible part of it. You cannot become financially sovereign without becoming financially wise. And you are also not going to become financially sovereign without developing the skills that it takes to have a trade and to have a method of investment. Now, for your trade, you could be a plumber. You could be a carpenter. You could be a chief executive officer of a fintech startup. whatever. But you need to know how to invest. You can have whatever you want as your day job, as your career, but if you're going to become financially sovereign, you must know how to invest, and to know how to invest correctly, you must know how to read the markets that you are investing in, and that is why, over the last 6 years, we have been teaching people technical analysis here on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel, and that is why we have taught over 5,000 students through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy how to do technical analysis so that they can make profit investing in cryptocurrency markets. Guys, I have made hundreds of thousands, at this point, probably over $1 million investing in the cryptocurrency. Oh, definitely over $1 million investing in the cryptocurrency markets. And it's so important that I understand how to read the charts and how to read the markets so that I can see what's coming, so that I can be ready to make those investments, cycle into those investments when it's time, which right now is that time. Cycle out of those investments when it's time. And again, that's why I want you guys to know that today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live is brought to you by the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Make sure that you invest in your education today so that you will be able to make the right financial decisions today so that you can go into your trades now and enter into position for tomorrow. Make sure that you are dollar cost averaging. Make sure that you are reading the markets, seeing where they're going, and make sure that you understand how to actually do the technical analysis. It's very, very, very important that you have that wisdom of how to make investments so that you can make wise investments so that you can grow that wealth, that you would be able to be generous with it and invest in your family and in your community in the future. So if you've not already signed up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, it's an investment in yourself, and because you're investing in yourself, you will make wise investments in others. I highly encourage you to sign up if you're interested. If not, that's fine. You'll learn a lot about technical analysis here, but if you want to learn more about technical analysis, a great place to start is CT2A, linked in the description box down below. Let's go ahead and read some chat, and then we're going to move on to some more fundamentals. Don't worry, we'll be right back with our technical and fundamental analysis. Just going to read some chat and give back some love to those that are watching this stream live. All right. Finsov, yes, but God is he who provides. That's absolutely right. But God does also provide through your work ethic. And that is very, very, very clearly stated all throughout the Bible. And it is very important that we don't forget that, because there's been plenty of times where I'm just sitting there praying and I'm like, God, can I have this, please? Can I please have this? And then I think about it later. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's not just going to fall in my hands. Like, I got to go put those hands to work sometimes and do something. Don't get me wrong. God orchestrates everything. He's pulling all the strings. He's the one that's in charge. But at the same time, as a door turns on its hinges, so will the sluggard turn in his bed. That's what the Bible says. And so if we're going to be lazy, if we're not going to work, if we're not going to put our hands to the spindle and to the distaff and be diligent, it's not going to just fall in our lap. Following God is not the same thing as winning the lottery with money. It doesn't mean that money's just going to fall into your hands. You still have work to do, but that work will be blessed, is what the Bible says. That's what the Bible teaches, is that if you work hard, your work, and you do it for the right reasons, and you do it with following God, because it says even the plowing of the wicked is sin. If you follow God, then your work will be blessed. And that does not always mean that you will be rich. There are people that are called to be poor. There are people that are called to sell all of their possessions and give them all to the poor. So being financially sovereign means not being controlled over your money, not having a lot of it. It does not mean having a lot of money. It means not being controlled over it. It means if I'm told to give away $1 million and that's all I have to my name, as far as that's every penny that I have, then I have enough control over myself to say I'm going to do that because that's the right thing to do. That's what financial sovereignty is. It's not just getting rich. So I am not a prosperity gospel preacher at all. I think it's heresy from the pit of hell. What I will say is that if you work hard, the general rule is that you follow God. The general rule is that you will be blessed. Generally, that is what I have learned. Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Shadrach Frost said, "Yep, I've heard that one before. That's a pretty cool one." All right, let's see. Kevin Lismont said, "Good morning, USA. Belgium here, already entering a hopefully green weekend." That's right. I think it will be a green weekend. Very excited about that. So JLogsDon 36, that's absolutely correct. God is he who provides. You must use the gifts you've been given. That's a good way of looking at it and stating it. Yes, you must use those gifts. There's too many times that I've thought to myself, oh man, I just want to be free of this. Oh man, I just want to have this. Oh man, I just need this. And I just sit there on my butt and I twiddle my thumbs and think, oh, it's going to just show up. Like, oh, the temptations are going to go away, you know, as far as like, oh, I want to be better in this area. I want to be more wise in this area. I want to be more financially sovereign in this area. And I'm just sitting here doing this like, okay, God, where are you? You know, we should wait on God, right? I'm not saying that, but I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs instead of putting my butt to work and doing something about it. Instead of sitting there and thinking, oh man, I just want to be a more righteous individual, then maybe I should sit there and read my Bible for an hour every day, right? We've got work to do. It's a partnership. All right, we're not a 1-year-old where all of our needs are, as far as all of our needs are met, but we're not just a 1-year-old. We just sit there and everything happens for us. We're in a partnership with the Lord, and He's the King, but we're following Him and we're doing His work. We're the hands and feet of His ministry. That's not to say that He's not in charge. That's not to say that He's not sovereign. It is to say that we have a responsibility, and we need to make sure that we're living that out. All right, Aaron Ripahow. That's a cool name. Ripahow. I don't know if I said that right. Said, still watching from down under. God bless. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in. And listen, if you're not a believer, you probably are just like, I don't know what this guy's talking about the last 3 minutes. That's okay. I love you. I'm glad you're here. And I hope that I can be a light in your life. Let's keep going here. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of upcoming events. One of them being the CME futures. The CME futures, I'm sorry. The CME FedWatch tool over here is telling us a little bit about the next FOMC meeting. It is coming up in 5 days. This is something we're going to look at very closely over the course of the next week, because in 5 days, on December the 13th, we're going to have the Fed rate meeting. CME FedWatch is predicting with a 98.2% certainty that Fed will be pausing rates once again. And the reason that that is so significant is because if you go on the cryptocurrency on TradingView, you can go on over to the effective federal funds rate, and you can see that the effective federal funds rate has shifted many times. We've been in a hiking cycle for quite a season here. Let's go to the other one, not the volume, EFFR. They changed this chart a little bit, but no matter. No, they didn't. It's just the daily chart. There we go. So, as you can see, we've been plateauing interest rates basically since May. We've had one rate hike. That one rate hike came in at the later part of July. And many people are wondering, is the trend going to continue to where we have 2 pauses and then a hike? If so, then that would potentially just be another step in the kind of asymptotic curve towards plateau that the Fed has been embarking on. That does not seem to be the case right now. What seems to instead be the case is the Fed seems to actually be pausing rates. And of course, they could just throw another rate hike in here at some point. But in general, if we see a pause in 5 days, which everyone is predicting that we're going to, then what that means is that we have plateaued. And the implications for that are vast. If the market has indeed plateaued the interest rates, that leads us to the final conclusion that the market is going to start preparing for a bull market in the stock market, as well as for a bull market in investment in domestic companies. That being your big 500 in the stock market, but also in smaller fintech startups, because debt is going to be, it's seen on the horizon that in 6 to 12 months, when the interest rates go down, debt will get cheaper. So start drafting the plans today about how you're going to spend the money that you're going to borrow at 0% or 2 or 3% interest rates a year from now. The planning phase begins now, which means that right now, when the Fed rates pause, you start to see a shift in the thinking of the people that are moving the big money, that are moving lots and lots and lots of money. I'm talking about people that have tens or hundreds of billions of dollars to move around. I'm talking about your Alphabets. I'm talking about your Microsofts, your Googles, your Michael Saylors, let's see, just any Elon Musks. You're talking about these big power players. They're starting to think, all right, interest rates are going to plateau, which means they're eventually going to go down, which means that debt's going to get cheaper, which means it's going to be easier for me to finance the next stage of expansion, and you start to see more expansion in the economy. That leads to a moonshot on the stock market, sending us back into all-time high territories and well beyond, which is, by the way, why I'm stocking up on our stock investments as well right now. But that also leads to a massive rally on the cryptocurrency market. So you got BlackRock ETF coming up. You've got interest rates pausing, which means that they're going to start coming down. We talked about all this like 6 months ago, by the way. So you shouldn't be surprised that this is coming. This is a couple months out now. This was 8 months out a while ago, and we were talking about this back in March. All right. Fed rates are eventually going to pause. When they do, that's going to send the market to the upside. Then the BlackRock news came out, and we said, all right, well, that's eventually going to get approved. BlackRock doesn't get told no by the SEC. They basically run the SEC. So there's going to be a BlackRock ETF at some point. And then, of course, we have other factors like the halving coming up. All of these came together in a perfect storm of Q1 of 2024, meaning the bull market has been in full swing by the time you get to Q1 of 2024, and you're at all-time high by Q3 of the latest in 2024. That has been our prediction all year. I've been saying that since January when Bitcoin was at $15,500. Bitcoin has tripled since then. And some people didn't want to hear it. Some people said, oh, Bitcoin's going down to 7. I said, no, you've got an ETF coming. Excuse me. We didn't know about the ETF yet. You've got the halving coming up. Apologies. You've got the Fed eventually plateauing rates in late 2023, early 2024, eventually dropping rates in 2024 based on the trend. You've got the CPI is gonna level out, and you've also got the halving coming up. 2024 is going to be a gargantuan bull market. You're seeing Bitcoin at 100K by the end of that year. I was saying that when Bitcoin was at 15.5. Nobody wanted to hear it. Some people did. The people with eyes to see and ears to hear did. But that's where we're going now. And so it's a lot easier to say, oh, it's 2 months out. It's a lot easier to see that now. And I hope that that's an easier picture for you to understand. And so the implications of this are as follows. These are the 2 implications that I am taking for my own investments, for our family's investments. This is what I am doing right now. I already have a large amount of Bitcoin, like a large amount of Bitcoin. And in the bull market, that's going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in proceeds. When the bull market comes, I'm going to also be in position in 2 places. In the altcoins that I want to be in, and also in US stocks. I am going to be buying, quite simply, the S&P 500. I am not a stock market analyst or trader by default. I work primarily in the cryptocurrency markets. I don't know all of the big funds that I can be getting into over in the stock market. I might just carve out a day in my schedule and spend a whole day over on Fidelity just looking at all the research on all these different funds, and I might pick 1 or 2, and if I do, I'll tell you. Right now, I've maxed out my Roth IRA. That's $6,500 because that's how much you can put there in SPAIX. And then we're going to do the same thing for my wife's Roth IRA, max that out before the year's over. So we max out the contribution so we can do it again next year. And then that's going to be kind of our seed in the stock market because this is really the first year that we've invested in stocks. I've been in crypto my whole investment journey. Now we're getting into stocks. And next year, I'd like to put at least another $13,000 into that, probably even more. I'm trying to set up a 401k plan and everything with the company so that I can pay myself through the 401k. A lot of stuff I'm doing on the back end. If you're interested, let me know. I can talk more about that. But anyway, there's a big rally coming on stocks. I definitely see U.S. stocks going up at least 25% next year. That is, I mean, United States, U.S. stocks, the stock market, you're probably going to see it at 600 points by the end of next year. I'm serious. Like, you think I'm kidding. I'm actually very serious. You're probably going to see S&P 500 at least 550 by the end of 2024, probably all the way up to 600. I could easily see that. And so, you know, those investments in the stocks, obviously, I'm not as worried about it only being 25% because we're going to keep that there for the next 30 years. We're going to be holding that. We're going to be holding those positions when we're, 60. That's not something that we're going to liquidate pretty much anytime soon. That's just retirement. We're working on generating net worth aggressively in the cryptocurrency market because that's my trade. Again, I just want to kind of clarify those 2 differences. You have your trade and you have your investments. I am an investor, and I'm also a participant in the cryptocurrency space as my trade. My trade is being a YouTuber. My trade is being a technical analyst. My trade is being an educator with course content and academic content. My trade is, well, trading and investing in the cryptocurrency markets. That's how I make my living, if you will. And so I cycle the returns from that into investments back into the cryptocurrency market and also into the stock market so I can gradually increase my family's net worth over time. We have very ambitious goals for where we'll be financially by the time we hit 30. We're only 23, very young. Made a lot of mistakes in the early years with my money, but I learned a lot of very valuable lessons, and we don't make those mistakes anymore. And so we're on a really good track this bull market, and I'd love to share that with you as that continues to go. So what I'm doing right now, I've already got a ton of Bitcoin. I'm cycling a lot of that Bitcoin that's profited out of the Bitcoin now into altcoin positions and different revenue streams I have. We've got like 8 different revenue streams. So different revenue streams we have, we're putting that into altcoins as well, building a diversified portfolio in cryptocurrency. That's going to do very well in the coming bull market. Probably on average is going to make between 300 and 500% because some of those altcoins are probably going to do 1,000x. At the top, I'll end up cycling a bunch of those profits out, probably putting a lot of it back into Bitcoin, putting some of it into cash, maybe into some kind of high-yield savings account like 5%, putting it into staking for 11% or whatever is available at the time, and then dollar cost averaging into the market as it goes back down to get ready for the next bull market that'll come in 2027, 2028, cycling that out. Also making investments in the stock market. We're thinking about getting into real estate. I'd really like to buy a quadplex and get started in our real estate journey. A lot of different things that we're planning for the upcoming bull market. And when we get there, I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. I would really love to help teach you guys not just about technical analysis, but also about trading and investing and growing your net worth. That is a project that I have coming up for the bull market. I would like to figure out how to systematize and streamline things as much as possible here on Crypto Jeb, put as much of my first fruits into that I can put a little bit into kind of a personal finance channel that I'm thinking about starting, teaching you guys on all of that. So that's kind of my strategy. Wanted to let you guys know that because it's very important that you don't just understand the technical analysis, but how to apply it into a larger web of investment thesis. And so that's kind of what we're looking at doing right now. So let's go ahead and read chat here for just a little bit, and then we will continue to talk. Panama Canal's back up. Look for a buy on oil, Chevron, Phillips, Exxon. Good point. Good point. Psychedelic Sunshine said, good morning, future millionaires. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Good morning to you as well. Chris LeBlanc in chat. Queen said, Sarah plus Jeb sitting in a tree. Yamil said, Yami, sorry, said, what buy right now? Well, I will tell you what I just bought yesterday. How about that? I'll tell you what I bought. Yesterday, I took position in XRP, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, Avalanche, Chainlink, Polkadot, Polygon, Sheeb, Cosmos, Uniswap, and Stellar Lumens. You might have to watch that again, but that's what I took just yesterday. How Sheeb chart looks to you? Is ATH reachable? Good question, because I did just buy some Sheeb yesterday, so you're probably wondering, well, Jeb, what was your... I showed Sarah what we were doing with the investments, and I talked to her about it because, you know, we're moving money around. It's good to be in communication with your wife. I know more about it than she does, so she's like, if you think that's what's right, then go for it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the right move for our family. And but she saw me take a position in Sheeb and Dogecoin. She said, Jeb, haven't you been dumping on Sheeb and Dogecoin for like 3 years? Those weren't her words because she's much more ladylike than that. Apologies. But she was like, haven't you been like so negative on those two? I was like, yes, I have, but I've never said not to touch them. I've always said, if you're going to touch them, put a very small percentage of your portfolio in them. And so that's what we've done. We put a very small percentage of our portfolio in Sheeb on the off chance that it does 800% and go back to all-time high. Can it happen? Yes, it certainly can. And to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if it did. It means a lot to me as an investor to say that a cryptocurrency has survived the bear market, and it's still here, and it's still in the top 15. What is here in the top 15 right now is very exciting to me because it means that it had the fortitude to hold on to market cap. Sheeb through the bear market held on to $6 billion in market capitalization. Dogecoin through the bear market held on to $14 billion of market capitalization. That means that they've got a core investment audience, if you will, a core of investors that believe in it for some reason. God only knows why, but they do. And so if there's enough people that have $14 billion worth of value in those cryptocurrencies, then maybe they know something I don't. It is possible that it goes back to all-time high, and if it does, I'm cashing out 2/3 of it, and then I'll hold on to the third of it for the moon back, something like that. And then we're going to cycle that. So, did I buy some Sheeb and Doge? Yes, I did. How's the Sheeb chart look to you? It looks absolutely atrocious. Christian Sanchez. It looks horrible. It's one of the worst charts I've seen in a long time. But just knowing the quote-unquote pumpamentals, the pumpamentals of Sheeb and Dogecoin are something that that I'm paying close attention to. John Doe said, Jeb, your crypto investments and estates are what really interests my peeps. Love to hear it, John Doe. I would like to talk more about that, so I will be sharing with you guys some of the investments that we are doing live. Shadrach Frost said, Jeb, you were very wise in your youthful age. God has really blessed you, sir. God has been exceptionally faithful to me. Very faithful to me, and he's always faithful to all of us. That being said, God doesn't always say yes to our prayers. And, you know, being a father reminds me of why that's the case sometimes. There are sometimes that my son, like right now when I was going on stream, I was just talking to him, and he goes, Dad, I don't want you to go to work. I want you to stay with me. I'm like, I'm sorry. Listen, I love you. I'm sorry, but I have to go. Like, I can't say yes to that. I have a job. Like, I have a career. I have to be an example to him. I can't just say yes to everything that he asks of me because that would be wrong of me as a parent. It would be neglect of me as a parent to say yes to everything that my child asks me to do. It would be literally immoral. It would be sin of me to say yes to everything that he asks, because there's times that he just wants to eat, like, 10 cookies or something. Those things got like 16 grams of sugar a piece in them. True story from last night. He wanted like 3 or 4 of those things. Like, listen, we got one and you can't sit still. You gotta go to bed soon. I can't say yes to that. I just can't do it, even if it makes you sad. And so that really gives me a perspective on what God's like. He's up there in heaven knowing everything, and I'm over here asking him for something, and thank God he doesn't say yes to me every time, because there's plenty of times that I ask for something in prayer and I want him to say yes because I have a limited view on the way the world works, but he has the complete view on the way the world works. And from my perspective, duh, you should say yes to that. From his perspective, he knows that if he says yes to that, it would be so much worse than if he had said no. JLogsDon33 Logsdon said, totally agree with you, Jeb. God won the war, but they still had to march out and fight. Exactly. And there are times where you can lean too much in one direction or the other. You can lean too much in the direction of your own strength and say, aha, I'm marching out to fight. I've got this. I don't need God. That's the temptation, right? But then the other temptation can be, God's won the war, so I can sit here on my butt. Both of those are wrong. You got to do the work and know that if you do it his way, then if it's in his will, he will bless what you're doing. Right? If it glorify the Father, the answer will be yes. Yes. What the fact to consider though is, will it? You know, that's the $1 million question. If anybody's ever seen the movie Bruce Almighty? Not Evan Almighty. Yes, Bruce Almighty. We watched that movie the other day. Doesn't get everything right. It's not actually a Christian movie, but really a very, really got the whole God can't say yes to everything very right. So if you haven't watched that movie, it's a little bit crass, but it kind of makes a good point about that. Again, not exactly the best example of everything, not exactly how God works and everything, but really like that. All right. Let's see. Vintage Excellence said, God told me to go all in on Cardano. It's between you and the Lord, my friend. Far be it from me to comment on that. Shouldn't have. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so John Doe, I really appreciate hearing that from you. I'd love to talk more. I'd love to learn more about that with you. As far as share more about that with you guys and share what I'm doing. So, guys, I got to wrap it out here in just a minute. Really excited that today my wife is actually graduating college. So I'm going to wrap it out, shoot the video real quick, and we're going to go and watch her walk on graduation. Very, very excited for that. So shout out to my lovely, beautiful, amazing wife, Sarah. She is probably watching right now. Very proud of you, sweetheart. So let's just get some love in the chat for my awesome wife who is graduating college today. She worked her tail off for that degree. And there is nobody in the world that deserves a college degree more than her. So thank you very much for all that she does for me and all that she does for you guys behind the scenes. You guys have no idea how much she loves all of y'all. No idea. So let's have some, her degree's in education. So let's have some love in the chat for my awesome wife, Sarah. Last point I will make here. Halving is coming up. With that halving, you typically see a rally starting within the next 6 months. It's probably going to start even sooner. So be on the lookout for that. We will talk about that more when that comes up. But yes, congratulations to Sarah, my wife. Very excited for her. Very, 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 very proud of her. With 2 kids, by the way. Finishing college, married to an entrepreneur who has a weird work schedule. With 2 children, she still finished college. Good for her. Good job to her. Showing and you know what? And you know what's so cool? I'll just go ahead and put a little bit more of it out there. She wanted to make sure that she finished college, gets that degree, so that our son can grow up and say, even if you have kids, there's no reason that you can't finish what you started. There's no reason that you can't put your mind to it and have your dreams come true. That's the kind of woman that I'm married to. I'm so very thankful for that. She literally told me, I'm not even as worried about the degree, but what I care about is ensuring that my son grows up and he doesn't see that I quit college because of him. I want Malachi, our oldest son, to know that even though he was there, I still finished college because I wasn't going to give up on my dreams. Because if I give up on my dreams because I have kids, then my kids will give up on their dreams because they have kids. And we've got no place to blame our children for our dreams not coming true. We can make them happen. It was her dream to graduate college since she was a little girl. A lot of people told her that she couldn't do it, and she just proved all of them wrong. So, boom, my wife's awesome. Just had to put that out there. I'm sorry. Had to say it. Got some love in chat. Man, you guys gonna make me cry with all the love in chat. Among the crowd, 1977 said, congrats, Sarah. God bless you and your family. Jovan Mena. I know somebody named Mena, so I know that. Said, congratulations. Jeremy Shorter said, grats to the wife. Jennifer Lee B. Me said, awesome queen. She has been through hell and back. Love you, Sarah. Being married to me will put you through hell and back. Christina Orozco said, congratulations, Sarah. Sally C. Borg said, oh, I'm why my parents didn't finish college. Oof. With all due respect to your parents and with all honor to your parents, sometimes it is easy to blame others for why we didn't finish certain things. And I'd say from God's perspective, 99% of the time, that's not really why. That's not really why it didn't finish. So don't let that be on you, Silas Borg, because you didn't ask to be born last I checked. And I very much hope and I'm sure that your parents love you very much. But any parent, and being a parent, I have absolute authority to say this, any parent knows that having children is way more cool than anything else you will ever do, short of being married and loving the Lord. The Drake equation said, happy Friday, y'all. Let's go. Bull market in effect. Haven't heard a Jeb rap since last bull market. Jeb, new bull market, new rap. You know, I'm really busy, but I've been working on a, that's what they said, though. Well, you know, again, with all due respect to your parents, don't feel guilty about a decision that wasn't yours. Don't feel guilty about a decision that wasn't yours. The Bible says that a happy man will have a quiver full of children. A quiver full of them. Quiver full of them. Anybody that thinks children are anything other than a blessing, I'm sorry, but you are not correct. You're just not. Children are a handful, right? They are. They're a lot of work. But in the same way, making the best investments in finances are expensive on the upfront, you will be so glad you made that investment in the future. The person that sold everything that he didn't absolutely need to buy Bitcoin at $150 is exceptionally happy that he did that now, even though he was living on rice and beans and the only furniture he had was a lawn chair in a closet in a studio apartment somewhere in the bad part of town. But now he's rolling in it. That's a bit like what having children is. Greatest, one of the greatest investments you will ever make is an investment in your kids. They do change your life, and they do make it a lot different, but I'm very happy for it. My wife feels the same, so I'm very thankful for that. So shout out to my children also, Malachi and Charity, while we're giving shout outs. Guys, I do have to go. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. If you did enjoy today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to sign up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Links in the description box down below. And also don't forget to sign up for Apex Dex. Apex Dex is my favorite cryptocurrency exchange right now in the entire industry. So if you're looking to make leverage trades or just trading in general, you don't have to use it for leverage trading. It's just there if you want. This is my favorite exchange in the whole market. It is a decentralized exchange, which means it's a lot safer and it's self-custody, so you don't have to worry about the exchange going down and being screwed over because it's basically just one big, fancy, complicated smart contract. They've got a huge amount of trading volume going on, a lot of trades going on, a lot of open interest right now. User interface is second to none. It's got a lot of polish on it, very good-looking UI, a lot of features coming to it. There's copy trading coming in Q1. It is the place that you want to be. It's the fastest-growing DEX that I can see on CoinMarketCap right now. It's the only DEX in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap that was founded after 2021 during the bear market. This is going to be the big place to trade in the coming bull market. So why not get started now so you don't have to switch exchanges later on in the bull market? You can sign up for Apex with the link in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for all of the love and support in chat as always. And if you did enjoy the video, if you hit that like button, it helps to promote the channel in the algorithm. Before I go though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling. Got a real good feeling.